Hi everybody, it's Kathy Ondas with Simply Cards by Kathy. But today I'm here with you for Connect to Create. And if you are new to Connect to Create, it is a collaboration between myself and another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and friend, Pat Fairless, from Fairless Stampin Flair. And each week we bring you a short video showing you a new technique that you can use in your paper crafting and card making. So this week I'm going to show you triple time stamping, and I love this technique. I use it a lot, and I hope you're going to love it too. And it's really easy to do. All you need is stamps, ink, and paper. So I'm going to flip this camera down and we're going to get started. Okay, so we are going to be using basic white cardstock, and I have three pieces here. This is a 5 1/8 by 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. This is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and this is 1 1/4 by 3. Now, it doesn't matter what size layers you are, just so that you stay consistent once you're done stamping and you layer these, and I'll explain that in just a minute. To do this technique, you could use a rectangle, you could use all variated rectangles like 4 by 5 1/4, 3 3/4 by 5, and so on. You could cut a circle and use that as a layer. So it's really whatever you want, and just use your imagination and play with it. I'm going to show you in a few minutes when we're done 2 different designs in which I used it. The stamp set that we're going to be using is the Forever Fern. I love this stamp set for this. And I like it because you have images that completely stamp. They're filled in. And I think that gives us some of the best, at least my opinion, that's what I like best, to do the triple time stamping. So I already have my stamps mounted, and we're going to be using a variety of stamps and colors. Now, to do this, it's really important that your paper stays, once you lay it down where you want it, that your paper stays, it's secure. So 2 ways you can do this. One is use some washi tape or some removable tape, and you can tape them down. I'll show you like this. That's one way to do it. Another way is I just use removable tape. Now, Stampin' Up! Doesn't have that anymore, but I have some here that I just picked up somewhere. And I simply am going to put a small piece of that on my cardstock, and it'll remove, and let me show you, it just wipes right off and it doesn't leave anything on the cardstock. So I use this because it seems to work well for me. So I'm going to put this here. I'm going to off-center it more off to the left. And I want to make sure my paper is straight, or as straight as I can get it. And I'm going to secure that. And you can see it's pretty secure. So it's not going to go anywhere as we're stamping. And then I'm going to put this one, I think, right about here. So I'm going to do the same. Just put down a piece of washi tape or some type of removable tape and secure that. So here's our, I don't know, canvas that we're going to use for this. So the colors I chose are Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, and Pumpkin Pie, because I'm going to make this a fall type of scene. And I chose a greeting, Autumn Wishes, and that's from the Fond of Autumn bundle. I just picked what I want for my card. So let's move these off to the side, and we're going to get started. The first thing you want to stamp is your greeting, because you want to make sure you have room for that. and don't cover it with images. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink up my stamp, and I'm using the pumpkin pie. And I'm just going to go in here and stamp my greeting. And I'm good with that. I'm going to leave this open, and I'm going to open up my other inks because I kind of go back and forth between them. So when I do this, I ink my stamp up and make sure it's inked up well. Now, if you were using a photopolymer stamp, you would want your piercing mat underneath you or something to give you some cushion. So I'm going to ink this large stem up, and I'm going to come in here and I am simply going to stamp on all 3 layers. And then let's do that again. And we're going to come in right about here with this one. So, okay, I'm good with that. Now I'm going to set that off to the side for a minute, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to do some berries. So I tend to turn my ink over. For me, I have better control in inking, and I don't get as much on the stamp edges. So I'm just going to come in here and I am going to add some berries. And let's add some more. And I'm going to come in from this side here. Okay. Now, I know you see the gaps in here. Those gaps are going to disappear once we mount this on the layers. And you'll just see it's really pretty. I don't know how else to explain it, but the layers, those gaps will disappear. Now I'm going to come in with soft succulent, and I'm going to add some of that here. And let's do that again. And you're just really kind of arranging it the way you want to. There is no right or wrong way. I'm going to add another berry. Just off on the side here. Okay, and now I'm going to add another small leaf. I'm going to come in with my evening evergreen, and it's kind of like you're working, to me, on a masterpiece. You just kind of do what seems right and what kind of feels good as far as creating your background. I'm going to come back in with my soft succulent, and I'm not even going over the whole area. I'm just partially stamping, as you can see. And I think I'm done with that. Now I want to add a few dots, and this is also from the Forever Fern. So I'm going to come in with my soft succulent, and I'm going to stamp and stamp off and then stamp. And I'm just going to go around and fill in some of the white spots. I love playing with this because I just think you can get such a pretty effect from this. Now this one I'm going to try to stamp and just only partially with the stamp, and that worked out well. So I think we're done. So here's our triple time stamping. 3 pieces of paper, and so then what you do is you have whichever color cardstock you choose to mount on, and I'm going to pull these off now and just peel off my tape. Not that I need to, because you're not going to see that. And I do have a tape eraser, which works wonders. I just picked this up on Amazon, and it does take glue and tape off of your project if you need to. So here's my card, and normally we don't show you how to make the cards, but you aren't going to understand how to do this if I don't show it to you. So today's an exception. So first layer, I'm going to add multi-purpose glue, or you can use Stampin' Seal, whichever you prefer. It's coming out kind of heavy, so hopefully it won't gush out the sides. And I'm simply going to position this on my paper. Now, my basic whites are 1/8 of an inch. So this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And just going to position this on my card base. Now, the next one is you're going to, I want to get that glue off here. There we go. Now you're going to adhere this one to this pumpkin pie. So, and this is, again, this was 3 1/4, I believe I said, by 3 1/4. So this is 3 3/8 by 3 3/8. And just go ahead and adhere that. And then the last one is the one with our greeting. We're going to go ahead and adhere this to here. Now, to put these together, you are going to just rearrange them the way they were. So here is how I stamped it. And this one is going to go here. And I don't glue these down. I pop them up with Stampin' Dimensionals. So it's just finding your, matching up the design and then popping Stampin' Dimensionals up under the second layer and the top layer, and you have your card. So this is triple time stamping. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to see if I can bring you in a little bit closer to see that. And I have 2 more cards to show you. So here's the one we made today. Now here's one that I made a little bit different. My layers are cut differently. And again, cut your layers the way you want to. Just adhere them together as you're stamping and you'll be fine. So this one was done in the with the same stamp set, but I used, instead of the pumpkin pie, I used a rich raspberry. And there's the inside. And my third card I did is a Christmas card. And this one I used Merriest Moments. And you can see even got a little wild there and rogue. And I stamped with Versamark, and I used some gold embossing powder. So here is that card, and you can see this is the same design as the one I showed you, and this one finished. So 3 different cards. Make your layers the way you want, stamp them, mat them, and match them up, and you're going to have a beautiful card. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm going to take this off. Leave us a comment. Let us know which one you like the best. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. I sure enjoyed doing it for you. And Pat will be back next week at 10 a.m. for a new technique. So I hope you have a great week and see you soon.